where you'll sit and be dazzled and where not to waste your time. We're ranking all the shows in Walt Disney World. Hey everybody, today we are ranking all of the entertainment in Walt Disney World. We're talking the big theater shows like Festival of the Lion King, the nighttime spectaculars like Disney Enchantment, anything where live entertainment is, we are going to rank it right now to figure out where should you schedule in time to see these incredible shows and where maybe not needed. After all, entertainment is one of the things Disney does best, but what's worth your time? We're going to find out. And when I say live entertainment, I mean shows, not parades, not movies. I'm talking like theater shows such as Festival of the Lion King or Beauty and the Beast live on stage. And I'm talking live big entertainment such as Harmonius or Disney Enchantment. So things like the Festival of Fantasy Parade aren't going to be included here. The cavalcades, theater shows like Muppet Vision 3D that are just movies, those won't be in today's list. But we still got a fun list for you. And I think you might be surprised by the results. It is with a heavy heart that I have to put one of my once-beloved shows, KITE Tales, into the bottom spot. Why would I do that when I was such a fan of KITE Tales earlier? Well, friends, they kind of ruined KITE Tales. It used to have set times and you would come and sit, and now it's more of a drive-by experience. There's no more performers in the stands. There's no more full sets. It's just like, maybe you'll see one flying. And I don't like that as much. I like the whole crescendo. I liked the whole experience. I still recommend you see it because it's ridiculous. But the joy of actually watching KITE Tales is gone a little bit. So because of that, because it's hot out here, you know what? I love it. I think you should see it because it's silly. But to try and say you should see this over a full production show, I can't do that in good faith. So unfortunately, the changes to KITE Tales have knocked it to the bottom. Coming in 13th, I actually hate putting this one so low, but because it's got such a niche audience, it's the Disney Junior Dance Party. This is a short little show here in Hollywood Studios. Features Mickey, Vampirina, Doc McStuffin, some of your other favorite Disney Junior characters, and it is a very, very cute show. There's a DJ, there's not a lot of seating. It encourages little ones to jump up and down and dance, but there is some seating in the back for adults, and most importantly, it's air conditioned. It is on Genie Plus, but I don't really think you need to use one here. You can usually just walk in just a few minutes before showtime. And again, I really like this show for what it is, but what it is a target audience for parents of young ones. I'm talking like toddler age kids that still watch Disney Junior are really the only people that are going to get super duper into this show. So because of that, because this ranking is kind of trying to figure out the best shows for the whole group to see, this one is going to fall on the lower end of our list. Next up on our list, Feathered Friends in Flight. This is the current iteration of the bird show. It used to be called Flights of Wonder, then it was Up, A Great Bird Adventure, and it was less about the birds and more about the Up characters, and now it is back to being all about the birds in Feathered Friends in Flight. Sorry, the drummers are going by. I had to dance. It's required. Anyway, Feathered Friends in Flight is a really cute show, even if you're like me and a little bit nervous about birds. It's what Animal Kingdom's all about, in my opinion. It's educational because you're learning about these different birds and some of the cool tricks they do. They bring out things like bald eagles. There's a lot of cool birds that you're going to see in action and learn a lot about them as well. The reason this show doesn't rank higher, it's not a huge must-do like a lot of things on this list. Things like Feathered Friends in Flight are unfortunately competing against things like Harmonius in this video, which makes them harder to rank. So this isn't a must-do for most people. It's more of a nice-to-do. It does have Genie Plus. I don't think you usually need to use it. You can usually walk in and get a pretty good spot. So it does make for a very good filler attraction, in my opinion. So if you like birds, you like learning about animals, I say check it out. But if you're afraid of birds, be aware. There are many live birds in the show. But there's also a parakeet named Molly, and she sings, so. Bonus, though, even though it's not about Up anymore, they still have these really cute Up statues right out front. Great photo. Coming in number 11, we've got Disney Movie Magic, which is the first of the two projection shows at Disney's Hollywood Studios. This one features clips from live action films in the Disney canon, such as Star Wars, Indiana Jones, Guardians of the Galaxy, Tron, and it's really fun. I enjoy these projection shows quite a bit. However, this one isn't as iconic. It doesn't have as many memorable songs or moments as the other Disney Hollywood Studios projection show later on this list. However, they usually show back to back, so if you're seeing one, I recommend seeing the other. together, but simply on show alone, this one falls a little bit lower, even though it has the amazing Pirates of the Caribbean score featured. But if you're going to see one, see both. I think these shows are incredibly underrated. I'm always talking about them in Perfect Days and underrated rides and shows videos because they are a whole lot of fun. The next one on my list, I hate that it's so low, but this is entertainment at Disney we're talking about, so competition is fierce. This is one of my favorite underrated things in all of Walt Disney World. For the first time in forever, a Frozen sing-along spectacular. This is about a 25-minute show featuring the music of Frozen, where you are going to sing along with the narrators of Arendelle as they retell the story of Frozen, featuring some guest appearances by Anna, Kristoff, and Elsa. It is super duper funny, y'all. This is why I think this is one of the best underrated things to do. The narrators are not scripted and they ad-lib a bunch themselves. I laugh every single time I go.
Oh, we should have all the guys sing by themselves. Yes, okay, guys only. Let it go on 3. 1, 2, 3. They knew both of those lines.
Yes!
It was the same line twice with good guys.
Kids are going to love it because they love that Frozen music and seeing some of their favorite characters, but I promise parents, you are going to find yourself laughing along the way. This is a great filler attraction. Usually doesn't have too long of a line to show up 10 minutes beforehand, even though it does have Genie Plus. Great way to get out of the heat, get some air conditioning, and take a break from all those long lines at Hollywood Studios. Guess what's back? It's my favorite show. I have never been shy about being outspoken about how I felt about Finding Nemo the Musical before, but it is back. I'm here on official grand reopening day for Finding Nemo, the Big, the Blue, the Beyond. It is now 25 minutes instead of 40. Great improvement. Also, I've heard the story's a little bit more easy to digest, but you're still going to hear that great music, see those amazing puppets, and you're still sitting in air conditioning, albeit on the most uncomfortable seats of all. But before I put this in the ranking video, before I know where it goes, I gotta go see the show. I'm gonna reserve my judgment and ranking until after I see it. Just saw Finding Nemo, the Big, the Blue, Beyond, and I have some thoughts. First things first, you may know that former AllEars cast members Jared and Lindsay Bradshaw, who showed up on things like RTT, are in the show, and it was really, really cool. I texted Jared before the show and asked if I would get to see them, and I got to see Jared, and he's Bruce the Shark, who is, of course, my favorite character, as well as some other supporting roles, so it was really, really cool to see him, and I'll have to come back at some point, because Lindsay, her main role is Peach the Starfish, so if you see them in the show, make sure to, tag them on Instagram, but it's really, really cool seeing someone you know in the show, so that was really neat. I think they did a lot of improvements on this show. Two of my main complaints about the show, you may remember, are how long it was. It was 40 minutes long before, and how confusing and convoluted the story was. They didn't do a great job cutting it down like they do some of the other musicals around property. But they fixed both those things. It's only 25 minutes now, which I think is a perfect amount of time, and they did a really good job kind of cutting out some of that extra storytelling, and now the fish from the story are telling you the story. They're the narrators, so Gil and Peach, they are the ones telling you the story, so it's a lot easier to understand. It's a lot cleaner of a story, but it still features the music that was written for this by the Lopez's, who also wrote the music for Frozen, so you've still got Big Blue World, you've still got Fisher Friends Not Food, you've still got the Not My Dad song by Nemo and Swimming Together and Just Keep Swimming, all those songs that if you know the show, you're going to still see the shows that you love. Another huge improvement, the stage. They added some very, very cool elements to the stage. They're using some digital sets now, some new pieces, and it really breathes new life into the production quality of this show. They cut out some of kind of the cheesier elements, like when Nemo used to swim to touch the boat and like the performer would be like, as this fish like swam. They don't do that anymore, which kind of bummed me out because I always liked watching that part. But Darla is a nightmare. I will warn you of that. But the stage itself is absolutely gorgeous. It also just feels more alive than it ever did before. They've got performers out in the audience, and the Big Blue World, the opening closing numbers are really, really full of life and exciting. And production-wise, this show is excellent. I've always said that. I've always said the cast is amazing. I've always said the puppeteers are amazing. And objectively, the music is good too. My one fault with the show, besides the horribly uncomfortable seats that they apparently didn't think they could put... Could you not put cushions on there? Like, those seats are so uncomfortable. But my only thing about this show is that compared to a show like Beauty and the Beast or Festival of the Lion King, you don't know the music going in. Part of the fun of seeing entertainment at Disney is knowing the music, hearing those iconic songs, and unless you've seen this show several times before, you don't know the music. So for some people that's a pro, because it's like going to a Broadway show they don't know the music to. For others, they get a little bored, or maybe they don't want to sit there the whole time because they don't know the show, the story, and the music that well. So Finding Nemo, I definitely think you should see it, if for no other reason than it's 25 minutes sitting in air conditioning. It's improved drastically, in my opinion. The cast is wonderful. So I absolutely recommend seeing it at this point, at least once. If it's still not for you, this is definitely more of a like artsy Broadway show. So this is not some people's forte, the way that some of these other shows are maybe more universally enjoyed. But it is going to be popular since it just reopened. So this one might be a good use of a lightning lane if you are purchasing Genie Plus. We walked right in, before showtime and found a great seat. If you're not using Lightning Lane, I definitely recommend getting here 20 plus minutes early so you can make sure to get a seat. Still not going to top things like Festival of the Lion King in my opinion, but a much better version of the show. So congrats to all of the opening cast, because it really is a nice show. Swooping into the next spot, the tale as old as time, we're talking about Beauty and the Beast live on stage. Yes, this show has been around forever. In fact, it debuted the same day the movie did in theaters 20 plus years ago, which makes me feel very old. Wait, 30 years ago? Oh my gosh, is this movie 30 years old? I'm having a moment. Anyway, yes, it could definitely use some updates, but that doesn't stop it from being incredibly charming. We are talking about the classic tale of Belle and the Beast. It's got live music. The performers are doing your classic Beauty and the Beast songs, Tale as Old as Time, Something There, Belle, Gaston. They sing all of your favorites. And you've got the characters there as well. It can be a little bit cheesy, but I adore it. I usually end up crying even though I've seen it a million times. Now, while this one is not the most tech heavy as some of the others on our list, the reason it ranks as high as it does is because it's a crowd pleaser. Pretty much everybody likes Beauty and the Beast. Everybody at least knows this music. It's about 30 minutes long. It's not in air conditioning, but it will get you out of the heat under some fans, sitting down for a little bit. I think this show is a classic, especially if you've got little ones who love Beauty and the Beast. It's always a great choice. It also offers Genie Plus, but you can usually walk in just 10-15 minutes before showtime and snag a seat. So this is a great thing to do in between all those high-demand lightning lanes. Scoot into the number 7 spot. Wonderful World of Animation debuted for Disney's Hollywood Studios' 30th anniversary a few years ago. It's a projection show nightly on the Chinese theater that features clips from every single Disney animated feature film as well as Pixar feature film. It's got an incredible score, it's really, really cute, and it features the voice of Walt Disney. So how can you not love it? It does have a little bit of pyro. It's considered a nighttime spectacular, but it's certainly not on level with something like Magic Kingdom fireworks or Fantasmic or Harmonius. But I do think a lot of people miss out on it because there's not a big nighttime show at this park right now. A lot of people leave, but it's a real crowd pleaser. It also gets bonus points for the fact that you can simply walk up and grab a spot. There's not a long wait. No need to stake out a spot like at Magic Kingdom or Epcot for the nighttime show. And it's a really nice way to end your day. I love this. Coming in at number 6, this is one of my favorites, the Indiana Jones Epic Stunt Spectacular. This show's been around for a really long time, and it's basically the last remaining old school thing at Disney's Hollywood Studios. Indiana Jones Epic Stunt Spectacular is one of the biggest crowd pleasers on the list because everyone from little kids up until adults who remember seeing Indiana Jones in theaters, plus we got that new one coming out, who's excited, is going to enjoy this show. This show takes you behind the scenes on how they do some of those iconic stunts in the Indiana Jones series, which again is why it feels so old school MGM Studios rather than the new version of Hollywood Studios we have today. It's about a 30-minute show, and they do take you through some intense stunts. You hear that great music. I enjoy this show every time I watch it. The director and the cast usually makes me laugh somehow throughout it. This one also has Genie Plus, and this is one show I would consider using it at. Ever since it returned last year, it's been very popular, and this amphitheater does fill up more so than the other shows on this list in Hollywood Studios. So if it's a must-do for you, you might as well book the Lightning Lane so you go have that guaranteed seating. If you don't want to use Lightning Lane there, or you haven't purchased Genie Plus, then I recommend showing up at least 30 minutes early, but this is one that will sure to please almost any crowd. Coming in next, this is actually one of my most underrated things in Walt Disney World. It's Mickey's Magical Friendship Fair. This is the stage show in front of Cinderella Castle. It happens several times a day, and it's the 50th version of Mickey's Royal Friendship Fair. It features, of course, classic characters like Mickey and Minnie and Donald and Daisy, but you're also going to get appearances and musical numbers from The Princess and the Frog, Tangled, and Frozen. This is such a good show, y'all. I'm bold enough to say I think I like it more than the Festival of Fantasy Parade. It's got a brand new theme song that brings tears to my eyes. It's just a really good time. It's a lot of good characters, and not enough people actually stake out and watch the whole show. They kind of just see part of it passing by, not realizing what it is. Now, what I will say, it does get very hot sitting out in front of Cinderella Castle where there's no shade, so try and see one of the later shows in the evening so you get the best weather conditions. But I promise, if you watch this one and don't have a smile on your face, well, I probably don't want to be your friend. But this is a great show. Make time to see it. It's a classic to see something on the castle stage anyway. Coming in at number 4, before we get into our big nighttime spectaculars, it's probably no surprise, Festival of the Lion King. In fact, the only surprise is probably that it's not number 1. Because for me, it might be. It might just be my favorite thing in all of Walt Disney World, but as far as general population goes, putting this one at number 4. Festival of the Lion King is for sure the best stage show you can see at Walt Disney World that's not a giant nighttime spectacular. It features the incredible music from The Lion King, Circle of Life, Can You Feel the Love Tonight, Be Prepared, Hakuna Matata. It is a live performance in a theater of the round where the performers just take the atmosphere to a new level. You have got the performers singing, you have got giant puppets. Make sure to watch Simba, he's my favorite part. And returning this summer, you've got the tumble monkeys as well as the flying birds. You've got a fire performer, again, all set to that incredible music from Festival of the Lion King. We're talking Broadway caliber performance here. It makes you laugh, it makes you cry. It's gonna just fill your heart with joy, and it's an incredibly popular show, so if you are using Genie Plus, definitely recommend booking a lightning lane for this one so you don't have to worry about waiting in line. If you're not using Genie Plus, I recommend being in line at least 20 to 30 minutes early because this one will fill up, friends. But this show's absolutely incredible. I see it every chance I get. It makes me cry every single time. An A+ show, a must-do when you come to the Animal Kingdom. Coming into the number 3 spot, kicking off the nighttime spectacular category, we've got Disney Enchantment. That's the current fireworks show at the Magic Kingdom, voiced by Queen Angela Bassett. Features the new song, You Are the Magic. Tinkerbell flies, fireworks soar, and there's projections for the first time all the way down Main Street at the Magic Kingdom. Now, this show is very contentious. A lot of people say they don't like it. They were really fond of Happily Ever After, the previous fireworks show, or maybe they're like me and still clinging on to Wishes, which was the fireworks show before that. So there's been a lot of negative feedback about this show where people aren't loving it. But as someone who's seen it several times on different spots on Main Street, I've seen it from the Contemporary, I've seen it from the fireworks viewing, I've seen it from the dessert parties, I've seen it all the way up and down Main Street. I gotta tell you, I love this show. I think it is truly magical when all of Main Street USA lights up. You're never gonna top Tinkerbell flying. And while there is some disappointment around the fact that it's not really a 50th show, there's nothing really particular about Walt Disney or the parks themselves, it still is a really good show with really good music. Plus, at the end of the day, there's fireworks going off over Magic Kingdom, Tinkerbell's flying, music's filling the air, you finished a beautiful magical day. It's amazing, it's quintessential. It doesn't matter what fireworks show it is, it's gonna make me cry, and it's gonna be a perfect end to a magical day. Coming in the number 2 spot, the silver medal takes place in Thanos' ship across the way here at Epcot. That's right, Harmonious. Harmonious is the new nighttime spectacular that debuted at Epcot for the 50th anniversary last year. It is absolutely incredible. It is part projection show, part laser, part fireworks, incredible soundtrack, all amazing. It again takes place on the middle of World Showcase in the barges, which, let's get this out of the way, we all agree are an eyesore. They are not good. I wish they would collapse. They're definitely not a fountain like they were supposed to be. But at night, this beautiful score of classic Disney songs sung in both English and their native tones. So Hercules is in Greek, Mulan is in Mandarin, Beauty and the Beast and Hunchback of Notre Dame are in French, and so on and so forth, comes to life with these incredible projections both on the water and on the screens. There's some incredible fire effects, of course, gorgeous fireworks. It is an absolutely incredible show. It is an incredible ride, a build-up. It's a party with the Lion King and with Coco and Princess and the Frog. You're going to be crying at Beauty and the Beast and Hunchback of Notre Dame. It is absolutely stunning. Now, one thing I will say about this show, unlike previous Epcot shows, where you stand can make all the difference in the world. It is much harder to get a spot for Harmonious than it is for, say, fireworks at the Magic Kingdom. That looks dead on where you want to be. My best recommendation is between the 2 main shops right here as you enter into World Showcase. There's a little landing there. It will fill up, so on busy days, you're going to want to get there an hour early or so. I have done that, and you guys know I hate waiting in lines. You know I hate standing around. I have waited there for an hour to see Harmonious from this view because it is absolutely worth it. For me, this one beats out even fireworks at the Magic Kingdom right now because the music is amazing, the fireworks are amazing, the effects are incredible, and whoever decided to use Someday from Hunchback of Notre Dame as the closing song, I both hate you and admire you greatly. Which means I am docking this entire video #1 spot gold medal winner on a show that still has yet to reopen, Fantasmic. That's how good Fantasmic is, people. Fantasmic is about a 30-minute nighttime show that combines live entertainment, fireworks, lasers, water projections, and more as it tells the story of Mickey Mouse battling the villains of his imagination. There are water projections. It is an absolutely dynamite show. And when it reopens, they're reopening with an all-new segment featuring some characters that have never been featured in the show again, which is why we still haven't seen it. But I, for one, can absolutely not wait to see Fantasmic. But Fantasmic for me is everything that is good about Disney entertainment. It is bold, it is exciting. It features dozens and dozens of Disney characters, classic Disney music. I absolutely adore it and will be bawling my eyes out the day that it returns. So yeah, even though it still hasn't reopened, Fantasmic gets the gold in my book.
Congratulations, huh?
Well, that's a wrap. We ranked all of the entertainment in Walt Disney World. Was one too high, one too low? Go let your opinion be known down in the comments. In the meantime, friends, it's been magical. Now go watch Ranking All the Rides in Magic Kingdom. Bye!